Thank you for your interest in the Fabric Accelerator. Through this video, I'd like to give you a brief overview of what the accelerator is, how it came about, what are the challenges it's trying to solve, how it is built, and how it can benefit you. So stay along. So let's start with the question of why I started with this Fabric Accelerator. So it is to address few different challenges that I'm seeing in the data platform implementations. So whenever typically a typical data platform implementation would involve in building something up using a reference architecture and deploying it at your customer place. While this is great, what it lacks most of the time is also the ability to scale this build process because there is very few reusable objects built into it. There are different styles of development from different teams, different vendors, so there is generally a fatigue among the operation teams in how to manage these platforms from an operational perspective. And these are some of the aspects that I want to address with this accelerator. The first is uh, uh, building this concept of repeatability so that you can scale your data practice and your data platform builds. So while data platforms can have their own IPs and they can solve their unique use cases, in a typical medallion implementation, so between 80% of the task between the silver and the bronze layer can be automated because they are purely data tasks that can be that are technical in nature with very little business rules associated with that. So that means these can be coded and they can be parameterized, they can be reused several times between different implementations. The other thing I wanted to achieve out of this is also give a consistent build experience for both the data engineers as well as a consistent maintenance experience for the support team so that they are able to manage the platforms built by different teams or different vendors but using the same uh, accelerator to have a streamlined experience. The third challenge that I'm going to address is also ability to scale your build practices. So as you adopt this accelerator, you will see because of the use of reusable code components and this a consistent way of building things, the knowledge transfers becomes quite easier, and like you will see the build getting faster as we go into each successive sprints. And finally, want to keep this platform in a step with the upgrades that are coming up with the Fabric data platform. So we manage tech debt. The accelerator is in lockstep with the technology updates that are coming to the Fabric data platform. Now, you might ask like what is it in for me. So if you're here as a Microsoft partner, so if you're from a system integrator or any software development company, so if you're building custom solutions for your customers, so the benefit that you have with this accelerator is you can scale your deployments through repeatability. The other thing is your data engineers will have a streamlined development experience, so they can focus on the business use case that you're working with instead of the mechanics of getting to that, and which combined with that these two means you are able to deploy faster to your customer, and your customer in turn benefits from that as well because faster deployments means that they are saving their build cost per workload. It also means a consistent experience for the teams that are going to maintain these data platforms, and which gives them time to kind of scale up their workforces, and which in turn reduces the tech debt going forward. Now, what is the Fabric Accelerator? How are we going? How are we achieving what we said uh, about repeatability and scalability as well as addressing tech debt? First of all, the Fabric Accelerator is suite of reusable fabric items that you can find in the GitHub repository. So here you will find everything that you need to deploy a data platform, right from the provisioning scripts to the some pipelines that is standard out of the box, to some Fabric notebooks, and some event streams, and all the data layers as well. Now, the heart of this accelerator is an metadata driven ELT framework, so which kind of orchestrates the different medallion layers, which orchestrates the pipelines, which orchestrates the notebooks, and that is available as another repository. Now, while the Fabric Accelerator is new, the ELT framework has been battle tested previously with Azure Synapse and Azure Databricks. What so the orchestration framework that you're working with has been previously is being adopted globally, and it has been battle tested, and it has been integrated to work, and it has been modified to work with the Fabric data platform. Now, how does the Fabric data platform achieve the objectives of reliability, consistency, speed, and best practices to go with it? First of all, it is a design thinking process that has gone into this build, to say if you identify any data processing process that can be used not just in this project but in the next project or at the next customer, we're going to make that a reusable microservice like feature. So what that means is, think of it as having several different Lego blocks which you're going to put together for a data project. So these could be bicep scripts, these could be reusable data factory pipelines. For instance, if you're loading from a SQL Server database, you could have one generic pipeline that you can adopt across different customers. It could be Spark notebooks where you can define your transformation or data quality rules, which you can use with several deployments. Or it could be even event streams. Now, once we have these microservices, then we need a configuration environment to uh, line these different components together, and that's where we use a metadata configuration, which is a Fabric SQL database. And the ELT framework sits on top of the say a Fabric SQL database, and it has a few simple stored procedures that help the orchestration. And in the Fabric environment, like, you have the data factory pipelines, which kind of does the orchestration between your notebooks and your data sources and your one lake. So here is an overview of how the architecture has been built. It follows a medallion architecture approach, both for the batch layer or the cold path, as well as for the hot path. So in the cold path, like your bronze, silver, and gold could be of any configuration. So for this implementation, just to showcase the Fabric's capability across different data layers, my bronze is just files. The silver is a lake house, and the gold is a data warehouse. Uh, all driven by the pipelines that are orchestrated by the ETL framework, which sits in the Fabric SQL database. Now, the hot path is also follows a medallion architecture, but in this case, the data is stored in Custo databases in event streams, and they are orchestrated by the event streams, and along with update policies and materialized views of the real-time intelligence concepts. And they have the dashboards that are available in real time with alerts being triggered in response to events within the uh, events within the data platform. Now, the data platform comes built in with an observability feature that helps you to monitor your activities across your one lake, all your jobs, both your Spark and data platform jobs, as well as any user activities in Fabric workspaces in real time. And this is done through Gusto databases. So there is a bronze, silver, and gold medallion layers working through it, and there are alerts you can set up, for instance, on a failure of a job, and so on. So in summary, what are we trying to achieve with this accelerator? So we're trying to move away from the bespoke data platforms into building something that is repeatable, something that is intuitive for your for your data engineers, as well as for your operations staff. Now we're going to, and how are we going to do that? Is through identifying and coding data practices, and also automating it through DevOps where possible. And because we are working with one of the fastest moving data platforms in today's time, we need to make sure our platform is free from tech debt, and we kind of bake in the best practices from day one. And it's important to note that this accelerator complements with the Microsoft Fabric. In no way it kind of competes with any of the existing features of Microsoft Fabric or replicates something that is already there in Microsoft Fabric. And this is an open source accelerator, so you might, if you have your own accelerators, and you find like there is some capabilities or features or notebooks or code that you might find that might be useful to your projects, you feel free to take all of it or part of it, and it will work equally well. Now, because this is an open source project, like we are always looking for people who can contribute to this repository. So you can if you're interested, please feel free to contact me, and you can help either with code or raising issues when you find one, or give some feedback if the documentation needs to be updated or needs to be cleared in steps. There are a lot of features planned for the next 12 months. Some of them you can see on the screen. Some of the features like the has been already implemented, like the real-time observability that I was talking about, and the migration of the metadata database from Fabric from Azure SQL to Fabric SQL. That's all done, but we have like some exciting features coming up, like integration with test frameworks through Great Expectations, or more real-time capabilities like ability to work with change data, capture data sources, Historian or Splunk, as well as introducing more AI capabilities into the platform. The best place to start is from the Fabric Accelerator GitHub repository. In that repository, you'll find wiki documentations that will give you all the instructions to get started. There is also a blog post on LinkedIn as well as on my blog. I hope you found this session helpful to get an overview of what the platform is, what we are trying to solve, how the architecture is built. In next video, I will be giving a demo of how the platform looks like in current state, how some of the integrations with the metadata framework works. I hope to see you there soon. Thank you. Bye.